Back to the Past Alive. Thank you all for tuning in tonight for the monthly rip of 1990 tops in the search for the legendary Frank Thomas NNOF Front Error rookie card, the card that I've been after for most of my life. And this boxed and rip was made possible by our buddy Mark R, or Big Ray's Ball Cards. I actually met up with him a few weeks back in person, and he had brought me the surprise of 2 wax boxes of 1990 tops. So, thank you to Mark R. Maybe tonight will be the night that I track down this Frank Thomas yet once and for all. And typically, in wax packs, the precursor to the Frank Thomas is Kurt Schilling, but we're also looking for funny photos and Mandela effects, all kinds of other hanky-panky along in this box. The box bottom cards are that of Boggs Brett, the Hawk for Corey, who's not going to be in here, and randomly Daryl Evans. See, there's 4 different sets of box bottoms that you could get. So without further ado, Paul L. Clinton and everybody else, thank you guys all for being here tonight. It's been kind of a hiatus for making videos for me for a while, so I apologize for that. Hopefully this week we'll get back into the swing of things and we will partake in all kinds of debauchery, especially on this holiday weekend. What better to do than rip into packs of junk wax, chasing after legendary cards. This pack wrapper off the bat feels kind of weird. It's either an excessive amount of wax or like it was exposed to moisture at some time, but the cards do not appear to be affected. All right, the very first card that surfaces is Drew Hall directly off the set of Futurama. That's got to be a good sign. I would hope so. Card always creeped me the hell out. Robin Yount All-Star card. Terry Frank says, dude, glad you aren't giving up on this. I never, ever will give up on it, especially now that everyone has backed me in the search, and people like Mark R have given me boxes to open to continue it. There is the propaganda piece for the debut of Topps magazine featuring Canseco. Wes Gardner, creepy, sadistic look on his face. Jim Corsier's Mike Heath. Greg Maddox shows up in the first pack. Gary Thurman, Dave Parker. Ken Daly ends that pack. And I didn't make it out anywhere this morning. The weather's been kind of funky in Pennsylvania with random bouts of rain here and there. So I didn't go anywhere this morning to make a weekend recap video. Hopefully maybe next weekend. Probably get a piece. Glossy All-Stars featuring Big Mac. K's Reds fans is good luck, John. I hope tonight's the night, man. Nolan Ryan shows up. So a pretty good sign that we have some Stars Hall of Famers. Kevin Ritz is usually always the precursor. He looks very down in the dumps in that photo. To Juan Gonzalez. I've opened way too many 90 tops in my life that I know that. But Juan Gonzalez, one of the key rookies we're looking for, along with Sosa, Larry Walker, Bernie Williams, of course, Frank Thomas, Lasorda with a thumbs up, Jeff Reardon. There's Rob Dibble, second-year card, pulsating jugular vein. Junior Ortiz and Rick Sutcliffe is going to end that pack. I have all kinds of shenanigans in store for everyone this week. I don't know if we'll do anything tomorrow. We might open some newer product tomorrow. 3 boxes of newer Heritage high number that my brother gave me a few years ago for Christmas. Probably should rip into those. Maybe possibly find some redemption autos or something like that. Might do that tomorrow night. And Jeff Ballard, All-Star card. Canseco, Fisk, Franklin Stubbs. Paul L is going to have a quote popping up on the screen here very soon. Ron Hassey, Kramer, and Fred Toller ends that pack. But Tuesday night, we're ripping into 94 Leaf Limited. It's been a while. I think the last time I opened 94 Leaf Limited, I was wearing gloves, which people were kind of on the fence about, and so was I, because it's not something I normally do, but those cards get fingerprints on them real easily. So, open that Tuesday. There will be no auction on Wednesday. And the reason for that, I am shifting over this coming Thursday to Whatnot for a collab with them. It is a $1 card sale. That means everything on Whatnot is going to be $1. No matter what it is, it's going to start at $1. And I'm giving a bunch of stuff away. So I got rookie cards, vintage, pack lots, all kinds of stuff. And if you're scratching your head and you're like, what is Whatnot? Well, Whatnot is a 24/7 buying and selling app. You can go on the App Store, download it for absolutely nothing. And there is literally constantly a gigantic amount of sellers just selling all kinds of things, collectibles, baseball cards, you name it. You'll probably find it on there. So download that if you don't have it already this Thursday, 9/5 from 8 to approximately 10 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time. So if you're on the West Coast, take the day off work or just leave work early just in order to make that stream. And if you don't have it yet, get your free $15 using this link. It's also pinned down below in the description and will be in the comments as well. So, and you guys that do have it, make sure you're there so you can get your grubby hands on those giveaways. You have to be in the stream in order to win the giveaways. So that will be coming up this Thursday. We got a Gwyn All-Star card. Griffey Sr., at a flea market, people would have that listed for $120. I actually have seen that before. Got Dave Martinez and those creepy side eyes. Mikey Jesus, blue and red will have your head for this. They definitely are not too happy. They are actually giving me side eyes from across the room. Rex Hudler, who was previously pronounced dead on this channel, to my mistake. Bill Landrum, Craig Reynolds, and Raphael Belliard ends that pack as we rip along. The most recent Frank Thomas, for those of you that are like, how much is this card really worth? The most recent one sold on eBay that I've seen, PSA 5 for $6,500 in July. Eric C says, look at all these PSA 10s. Never touched there. Do we have it? The Frank Thomas has this color border, just so you know. Paul F says, hopefully my credit union doesn't stop me at 5 buys from 1. I remember we had that problem last time. So probably like 40 lots. If you go on there, definitely go onto the app, bookmark the show so you don't miss it. You get a reminder about it. And the next couple of days, I'm going to be posting a bunch of stuff for sale in the store. So you can take that $15 and use it to buy like a $30 wax box and get it for $15, which is pretty freaking sick. So I will be over there on Thursday and not here this week. Paul says a compulsive gambler collection video isn't happening because Pee-wee dumped out the cards out of the box and is using it as an ashtray. Well, Pee-wee's definitely here with us tonight, and he is not too happy about that comment because it's definitely one of truth. His emphysema is getting worse, or he has a very bad bellyache from eating too much pizza before this live stream. Shouldn't have shared anything with him. Ripken All-Star card. We have the first of the trifecta, Mark Williamson. We'll put that off to the side to summon the three-headed Mickey Weston, which we will showcase here shortly. There is the old Topps binder. I have a couple of those in my basement. Those are actually somewhat valuable if you have one of these laying around. They're typically like $25 to $40 for an empty binder in decent condition. Mark Knudsen, that rather sissy throw. Tim Wallach and Bill Schroeder. Some sort of strange printing blemish on here that I'm sure somebody would see and call me asking for a ridiculous price. Like, just keep getting more crazy phone calls with supposed error cards. I had another one today. Somebody that had another Barry Bonds error, 87 Topps. The 320, part of the 3 scratched off. I'm not sure where this surfaced at recently. It might have, like, I don't know. Maybe it came about from Barry Bonds being inducted into the Pirates Hall of Fame. But a lot of people have been calling me and saying they have this crazy Barry Bonds error. And like I said before, if you go into Google and you type Barry Bonds 87 Topps in, like, I think the first card that comes up on there is like 80 grand. It's absolutely nuts. That card is not worth that. Please do not think that you are able to retire early and buy a Winnebago and possibly a cruise ship because you own that card. There are upwards of probably 20 million of it in existence. This Otis Nixon is kind of a funky color to it. I don't know. I feel like I should probably be obsessed with that. Tom Glavine, the creepy Mike Stanley side eye now shows up. Pete Incaviglia. Eric C says Barry Bonds 320 out of 420 error. He's smoking a joint. Rick Cerrone, and there's Landrum again. Belliard, Darren Dalton, and Luis Aquino. Ends that pack. Big Ray says John did promise me he would eat some of this gum. Mold be damned. Steve Rosenberg Mandela effect. Paul L is calling it out right now. This gum looks a little bit shabby, but I have no problem eating old gum. I feel like the people that watch have more problem with it. Jeff Russell All-Star card. This is a very pissed off antics of Sparky Anderson. And of course, Frank Robinson, which we have deemed a short print in the past. Sean Bass, Jose Uribe. Remember the one misspelled middle name? Yeah, there's another person that called you recently with a 91 Upper Deck Jose Uribe that they were saying was like the wrong birth date. And I don't know. I looked that up out of curiosity, and somebody had one listed on eBay for $400. So that's all it takes is one person to list like this Paul Ausenmacher with this blue orb on his hat as like a one-of-one error card, which technically is. It is a misprint. There may be no other ones out there like that, but that doesn't mean there's like a a desire for people to own it. Maybe me because I like weird stuff like that, but I wouldn't pay more than like probably a quarter for it, and that's probably being generous. So there's really no true value, but eBay, you go on there and you see one of those and someone has it for 25 grand, and now all of a sudden they're cashing in or they're trying to, and then they call me. I tell them that it is just hogwash, and then they kind of look at me like I'm lying. It's like, all right, well, I don't want it. You keep that. And I'm always like, you can get a second opinion. I'm sure they're going to tell you the same thing. But yeah, who knows? But I've been getting a lot of those calls lately for these supposed error cards. There's a lot of weird, I don't know, blurring in this particular box. Another sissy photo of Doyle Alexander. Fred McGriff, there's Otis Nixon, Steve Finley second-year card, Cal Ripken, and Woody Herzog. As that pack, we got Trevor Williams in the house. Says Mark Knudsen. I don't know why my screen is being difficult. It's pronounced Knudsen. He has mentioned this in a YouTube video. That's pretty crazy, and I learned something today. I feel like a lot of us probably did. Mark Knudsen. I don't even know if my brother knew that. I mean, he probably did, but I'll probably still call him Mark Knudsen anyways. He's probably gotten pissed off about that his entire life. Brian Fisher, card number 666. Hopefully that's not a bad omen of some kind. Eric Plunk shows up, of course. Set myself up for that one. Bob McClure again. Joey Meyer, Mike Scott. Braggs, Chris Sabo shows up. I actually saw a Chris Sabo in an antique mall today. It was 89 Donruss Diamond Kings. Some guy had it in there for $1. It's kind of weird. Johnson, and there's Brian Fisher. Got Josh Duncan in the house. What's going on, man? Welcome, and thank you for being here. Brother Jay Cards, what's going on? Kurt Manwaring. Jeff Robinson. So no big rookies outside of Gonzalez yet. What the hell is that? Rich Monteleone with some sort of battle scar going down. Through that or a missile being sent into space. Kind of obsessed with that. So weird stuff like this. It's not valuable, but for whatever reason, I think it's cool. You have that white streak going the whole way up. So I'll put that to the side. And that will be showcased in the Oddities collection coming in the next decade. Gene Harris, and there's Manwaring. Ends up back. We got Chatty Food the house. As John makes tapioca starch cheese. He eats 40-year-old gum. Remember for 8 months. Thank you for that, Chatty. It's been a while since I've made tapioca cheese. I kind of gave up after that first time. It was all right. I mean, but I'm not like a very good cook, especially when it comes to following recipes. Instead of like actually measuring stuff out like I probably should, I just kind of eyeball it, and then it ends up tasting like crap. So then I never make it again. So that's typically how I cook, or I should say talk myself out of cooking, because I'm like, yeah, the hell with that. I'm just going to go to Taco Bell, which I was already there once today, if anyone was wondering. Jeff Innes rookie card now shows up. Ken Patterson. There's Spanky LaValliere. Nolan Ryan 5000 Ks shows up for the first time in this rip. Kurt Stillwell, Dave Valley, and Don Carmen. No sign of the no name on the front. Is that like Fremunda cheese? Can't talk about Fremunda cheese yet. It's not TPIA after dark. Paul says, I see the General's spotting in recently. So what? I went out to Walmart that night. What was it? After the auction, and faced off with my second arch enemy in this existence, the janitor of Walmart, who previously gave me a very dirty look and then proceeded to double take me and give me another dirty look from about 50 yards away, which didn't really sit too well with me. I have not really seen him again since then. Well, we literally came face to face in Walmart that night as Ron Robinson having the time of his life. Dennis Cook, Kevin Wickender with a lip ring. It's kind of a weird spot for printing blemish. The wild gunslinger Wickender. Post lip ring. There's a big cat for Corey. Yeah, so he literally cut me off this time around, and he was about to go down the same self-checkout as me. So I stopped, and he stopped, and he just kind of stared at me. Then he was like, Go ahead, sir. And he called me sir, so I was like, hey, maybe this guy's not too bad after all, but I'm pretty sure it's just a farce. It's definitely a front, kind of like the Taco Bell robot who has been courting me in order to eventually face off once and for all. There's Sosa rookie card showing up. Sosa, Juan Gonzalez, Leland. Got penny sleeve Stephen House. Chris Ritz says he was mad because he he liked to be called a custodial engineer. I'm definitely calling Mandela affecting that Bruce Hurst. Paul L, back me up on that. I don't remember ever seeing that card in my life when I was a kid. Alvaro Espinosa, Chuck Krim, and Rene Gonzalez. The Sosa Air. I literally got a call about that the other day. I got a 90 top Sosa Air. Everyone's got air cards all of a sudden. Paul said, I think I have my own enemy now, Mr. Traffic Security Guy. Got in a shouting match with him after he instructed me to go, go the wrong way on Thursday morning. So you were going the right way, and he told you to go the wrong way. I'd be pretty pissed about that, too. Propaganda piece. No sign of the Frank Thomas yet. Craig Biggio, second-year card. There's a Melito Perez. We haven't seen Melito Perez, or I mean, not Melito Perez, but I should say Melito Perez's biggest fan, Jonathan H. We have not seen him in a very long time, so I'm pretty sure he is definitely permanently ingrained into the abandonment list. There's Norm Charlton, also known as Van Snyder. Same person, never seen together. Brother Jay says his birth date is wrong on all his 1990 cards. No one cares if they don't correct it. Yeah, that's definitely what it was, too. I have a wrong birth date, Sammy Sosa Air. I'm like, yeah, no one cares about that. Even some of those cards they did correct don't really have any value. Like the John Smoltz, Tom Glavine Air from 1990 Donruss, like, you can still get those for like less than $1. I think it's a cool card, though. I like that from my Air collection, but as far as like crazy kind of value, really isn't much in the junk wax era, error card wise, that has value outside of like Dale Murphy and Frank Thomas and Mark Whitten and some stuff like that. But all these other statistical errors and wrong birth date errors, no one's chasing after those really. I guess unless you are an elitist of collecting error cards. We got the sweet all-star card collector, Brian Smith. If he's in here lurking in the background, he actually sent me a t-shirt of that I was wearing yesterday. There's Fisk. Again, Sparky Anderson pretty pissed off. As to be expected, Rock Reigns, Kevin Seitzer, a more of a scale second-year card, and Eddie Murray shows up. I'm still sad Juan Gonzalez reverse negatives have much more value. Yeah, it really doesn't. I mean, PSA 10s obviously do, but I mean, PSA 10 everything has more value, significantly more value. But yeah, I feel like back in the early 90s, that was probably a lot more sought after. And nowadays, outside of a very small group of people, I don't really know anyone that collects Juan Gonzalez. Back in the 90s, I was a fan of him. I feel like I definitely collected his stuff at one point. But these days, you don't really have too many people asking for Juan Gonzalez stuff. David Cohn, Greg Swindell, his daughter was missing recently, and then she was found, thankfully. And behind that lies the necklace wonder, Davey Johnson. And his turtleneck trying to cover up his lack of neck, but no one's buying it. Gary Pettis and Ron Cargvis, older than dust itself. Not worth the cost to grade a Juan gone. Yeah, it really isn't, because, I mean, PSA 9 Juan Gonzalez reverse negative, I mean, probably get those for, like, honestly, right on the same price as it would cost to grade the card, if not maybe even a little bit less. Steve Buechel and that scraggly little mullet. Alex Trevino, there's Jerry Reed. Rick Cerrone, Bill Landrum is now on the Omen list. That's the third time seeing him. My younger version of myself would have hated me putting him on the Omen list because I used to like him. And Eric Plunk, of course, is going to follow that up. Nothing good ever follows Eric Plunk. If you see him, it's over. So he might have got screwed in this box. Eric, he's not worth grading 98% of cards anymore, not at $20 a card. Yeah, it really isn't. Even if you're like really sure, it's kind of tough. I think that, although I do think grading vintage is definitely a good thing because, obviously, just because that way, if you're trying to sell them, then, you know, people get peace of mind as far as if the card's trimmed or, you know, possibly counterfeit or whatever else. Stan Belinda rookie card is Deion Sanders non-rookie. True rookies in 89 tops traded. Tony Gwynn, Trevor Wilson, the very sassy pitching coach in the background. Walt Weiss, Tarbell, Al Newman, and Eric King. ends that pack. Yeah, 90 Fleury of Dave Martinez. That's actually a valuable error card. People actually go after that. PSA 10 of that is pretty valuable. And even raw, those can sell for like $100. And it is pretty neat. And they did correct it. It's hard to find. Any of those hard to find errors from the 90s definitely have value. Like Mark Whitten, I don't really know anyone that's pack pulled a Mark Whitten. But those have always had value ever since the 90s. They have kind of been sought after. It's just weird because 91 Topps is a lot of phalanges, etc., that go over the border. I'm not really sure why they chose to obsess over the Mark Whitten. Charlie Huff, barely getting that leg up there. Alfredo Griffin and Paul Gibson. Kind of sticking out a sternum there and looking extra dorky. And the official, or should I say unofficial sponsor of this video, before we go any further, is Ohana Punch. It's kind of a hot weekend, so I felt like grabbing something cool, and I grabbed the Ohana Punch. I don't even know, I'm pretty sure it's terrible for you because it has red 40 in it, but who cares? Let's eat some old gum and drink fruit punch like we're 7 years old again. Nothing like it. Very random. Paul L. demanding a Mike Walkden sighting, asking ye shall receive. I will put everything on hold to show Mike Walkden off, who is still floating eternally in this soon-to-be snow globe. Not being held up by anything except pure sorcery. Gene Larkin, Johnny Bench, 1970, turn back the clock. Paul L. is pumped on Nat. Jack Clark with some sort of snowflake parallel that's not coming off the card. Vince Coleman, record breaker, Randy Kramer. Mike Davis, Brantley. Scott Scudder, a short print now shows up. Is that the generic version of Hawaiian Punch? I guess it is. It was like a third of the cost. I just stopped at the store real quick, and I had some people coming over for a little pool party, and I was like, I gotta grab something cool. And I don't think I felt like grabbing booze because I was hungover. So I was like, I'm gonna grab something else. And my buddy's like, grab a Ohana Punch, man. It's like, it's the same thing as Hawaiian Punch. It kind of is, I guess. But it's like, I don't know, it was like $4 for like a 12 pack or something like that. Tango Victor says, Daddy's working. That's very true. Daddy is definitely working on finding the nut in front. If I had a son or a daughter, I would definitely tell them to go away right now because I am working. Just like the epic video that we're all obsessed with. Nolan Ryan, 5,000 Ks. There's Curtis Wilkerson having time in his life. Larry Walker, rookie, now shows up. Very nice. Whoa. Push these over here. Walker, rookie, Gonzalez, Sosa. Weird we haven't seen Bernie Williams yet. I feel like usually I find like 3 of those every box of these I open. And then like none of Larry Walker. Eric Shaw and Sheffield Gold Cup. Wally Moon says, Pee-wee is pretty much your son. That's a very good point. You're not wrong about that. Big Ray's in here says a good, I don't know, good sanitizer wipe is good after Eric. Is that a drunk super chat? After Eric Plunk, I think. Yeah, I feel like you got to use any kind of sanitizer wipe after opening any kind of old junk wax because you literally have just cardboard carcass remnants all over the place and pieces of gum debris. It's like a battlefield in here opening these packs. Eric Plonk again. There is no escape. Mark, you summon him into existence right there. Eric Plonk. Another Larry Walker. 2 Walker rookies. The tide has turned. No Frank Thomases, which I may or may not throw a temper tantrum about at some point tonight. But we still have a little stack to go through here. Steve Blake takes the gum stain pretty freaking bad. Got Mr. K in the house. What's happening, man? Lenny Harris. I don't remember ever seeing that card before. It's weird. Very weird to me. That's the hideous antics of Zane Smith are unavoidable to this day. Bip Roberts, Ripken, Danny Gladden and his mullet flapping in the wind. Eisenreich and that pulsating jugular vein. There's Sandberg and Steve Lake. You got collector's inventory. What's going on, man? GM says Lenny Harris, rookie. If you start dropping F-bombs, I want my money back. Yeah, he's about $50 for a wax box of these nowadays, so kind of like a $50 scratch-off ticket that you're probably not going to win on. Mark Gubas shows up, Molitor, Lance Parrish, and there is Randy McCammon rookie for Paul L., who's probably obsessing over that. I can only imagine. Too bad it is not the same card as this seductive beauty. Literally luring you into a windowless white van. We have 7 packs left, or actually 10 packs left, I should say. Math is way off tonight. We got Fred Lynn starting it off, so some different collation here. John Wathen shows up. Jim Gott, Mick Reynolds, and his scum stash. Still no sign. There's Mel Hall without the poop stain, and Paul Kilgus. Eric Z with the McCann emoji. Coming in hot. 9 packs left. Not one to open. Montgomery takes the gum stain in this one. Tom Kelly in his frostbitten face. Drebeck shows up. Haven't had any phone call from Drebeck at 1 o'clock in the morning lately. Hopefully that will change here soon. There's a hawk for Corey, who probably won't watch this video. Tyler Houston and Tom Troublehorn. We're getting down to the nitty gritty here. No sign of the Thomas. Do have another Vince Coleman. Larkin, Fred Manrique for Brian Smith. He can rejoice at the sight of that. Dale Murphy now shows up. There's an Albert Bell. Mitchell and Sweet Lou Whitaker. Tango says Corey is lurking. Yeah, you think he would be, but since it is a weekend, I don't know if he's in here. Paul says, I'm fascinated they used a 3-year-old picture on a card, but again, they use the same picture for some guys year after year. They definitely did. I feel like Mitch Williams' 89 tops and his 90 tops are very similar, if not identical. It's been a while since I've looked at them, but so Jack Morris, a crappy cut to it. Dante Bichette, 2nd-year card. Jerry Royce. Lemke having himself a good cry, as always. Dave Valley again, and Craig Biggio. And then there were 6. Now, you don't always find a Frank Thomas in every single box. There's only been a couple boxes I've opened where I didn't see one yet, but it does happen. I don't believe the box was searched because we found the other best rookies. There's that damn weird Kevin Wickender again with a creepy printing blemish on his lip. So now I have 2 of those to obsess over the rest of the night. Dan Plezak for Wally Moon. We got Puckett. Stan Javier and his unibrow show up along with my personal arch enemy from my childhood, Vaughn Hayes, Younts, and Ron Martinez. That's that pack. Herpes blemish. I can definitely see that. We got Donnie Baseball showing up for the first time. Roy Smith and that Twilight Zone-like background. Melito Perez for number 2 to summon Jonathan H., but it doesn't seem like it works anymore. 4 remain until the temper tantrum commences. No sign of Frank Thomas. Wally Whitehurst, Henderson record breaker, Francona, and there is the Civil War era Mitch Williams. Must pay homage to that. It's not every box we found one of those. 3 remain. Another dimension, Griffey delivers your pizza. That'd be so weird. Big races, if no Thomas rookie comes out, we'll send a cello box. Mark R, you don't got to do that, man. That is total dedication, though. Mark R is sitting on a throne of 90 tops, apparently. We might still find one. There's definitely been times where I've gotten down to the last pack and come across it. Jeff Ballard. I don't have noticed any other partial blacklists in here, but I feel like sometimes they're kind of tough to see unless you're really looking for them. Felix Fermin, Neil Heaton, Bond shows up, and Jimmy Key. So we're seeing a couple new faces in the last few packs. Mitch Williams card should be donated to a Civil War museum. I love that idea. I should just go to a Civil War museum and plant one in there, like inside of a showcase. Gotta make a video about that. Paul, I'll put that on the list. All right, without giving everything away, we don't know Larry Walker rookie, though, so a 3rd Walker rookie, I won't complain about that. Nolan Ryan, 5,000 Ks. Number 3 to the Walker count. So weird. 3 Walker rookies, no Bernie Williams. I've definitely opened boxes before and had the same luck. Just the way the cookie crumbles. Mel Hall with some sort of stain on it. Really reminiscent of the 91 Topps Mel Hall, the poop stain from our childhoods. That has taken me back right there. What are the odds of that? Can we find a Thomas in the last pack? Ken Herbeck, bring us luck. Some new faces yet again. And the giraffe-like neck of Dave West shall guide us to the Frank Thomas. I don't see a Schilling in here or a Tom Gordon. The precursors, Jeff Blauser is pissed about this too. And Mel Hall. Well, I guess at the very least I found another kind of stain, wax stain, but I'm going to pretend it's a fecal stain. Mel Hall to drown my sorrows, but 3 Walker rookies, 1 Juan Gonzalez, 1 Sosa error card that I'm going to put on Marketplace tonight for $500, so check that out. That's the box of 90 Tops for the usual first of the month rip. Striking out again as always, but I'm not giving up. Mark R. still sent another box for next month's rip, so do not give up hope yet. I kind of have, but we'll still open these until that card is pulled. So I appreciate you guys all being here. I hope you'll join me on Tuesday night for a Leaf Limited rip from 94. These boxes are serial numbered out of 60,000. That's pretty exciting. And there's some nice names to be found in there. So that's Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. And of course, Thursday, don't forget to go and bookmark my sale on Whatnot 8 to 10, Thursday the 5th. Grab your free $15 before it's too late. And hopefully, I may even see you back tomorrow night. We may rip some boxes of Heritage high number tomorrow and have the time of our lives. So stay tuned for that. Keep an eye out for it. And hopefully I'll see you guys all back here very soon. Have a great night, guys. Thank you all for watching.